speaking of infrastructure, Dulles International Airport outside of Washington, D.C. is going to get a long overdue renovation, according to President Trump.
It's considered one of the worst airports anywhere in the world. We're going to make it maybe the best with some hard work and some good thought process.
The Department of Transportation estimates it's going to cost more than $20 billion, that's with a B, dollars.
Our friend Kriston Capps, Bloomberg CityLab, has been looking at the president's efforts to reshape the nation's capital. The president's saying this is going to be the best airport. What's he proposing to do to make it the best airport?
Well, they really kind of want to start from scratch. United Airlines has had this plan going for a while to really take Dulles and correct all the mistakes that have been there since the original 1962 design, rebuild all the concourses, build a new train underneath, get rid of those wonderful people movers, and build something new.
Okay, so for people who don't know, the people movers are these crazy buses that when they started, they were supposed to be kind of chic. They're supposed to be like a mobile lounge, swinging in the 60s, cocktail lounge. Now they're like a bus that goes up on these weird stilts to the gate, drives you, and then, but they're strange, and when people aren't used to them, I know I had a friend land there a couple months ago, and she's like, I'm on a bus. Wait, what is the bus doing? The bus is going up in the air, and they take forever, because if you get off a flight, you then have to wait for everybody to load this bus, because you can't get on a train. How do you feel about the people movers? People love or hate them?
I find them dystopian.
I want one. Yeah, it's.
I mean, you may be able to get one.
Yeah, you may be able to get one. Yeah, when you get off an international flight and you're like tired and you have to go get your baggage, it's just like this one extra step, and it's really, really exhausting. And I think that's really where it comes from. The original design was to actually keep people from walking, to like spare them that inconvenience by not having gates at all.
I see.
You would just go from the terminal.
Go right to the plane, right?
Yeah, directly onto the plane. Well, that didn't work out. Okay. And it was a costly decision, and they've had to do all these temporary concourses over years, and they've kind of stitched together an airport where they didn't originally have one. And now United Airlines and the Airport Authority want to fix it, and they've got President Donald Trump on board.
I find this airport to be inconvenient, far outside the city, but I do appreciate the Saarinen entryway, this beautiful architectural piece. Is Trump going to ruin that, or is that going to remain in this redesign?
Well, it remains to be seen.
Oh, no.
Trump has said that he really liked it. That's the one thing he liked about Dulles. That's the one thing everyone
It is cool. It's
likes.
a very nice image when it's yeah.
But the renderings that we've seen, and we really don't know who's responsible for them, but what has been shared shows like a topper on top of it, a kind of curving glass addition. And to me, that's like adding to the Nike swoosh. You can't really keep...
Don't mess with it.
Don't mess with it.
Yeah, it's behind you there. And I asked you when you sat down, I said, are they keeping it or are they kind of covering it? It's almost like they're covering it. And also, why Dulles? There's a lot of airports around the country. Does this justify the amount of traffic at Dulles? Does it justify this kind of a revamp?
Yeah, that's a great question. So Dulles is the mighty number 22 airport in the nation, and now it's going to be the best, if not in this country, then possibly in the world. It's not a place where people transfer through. It's not a hub. Something like 70% of flights are into or out of Dulles. It's the final origin destination.
I thought it was a hub. Okay.
So it's not going to be like Qatar or Seoul, these extremely fancy
Singapore,
transportation hubs, but it is going to cost as much as that.
Well, on that point, who's going to pay for this? $20 billion. I'm going to guess it's going to go more than that. It's going to be more expensive than that. How is the financing of this going to work?
It's passengers who are going to pay every time you fly in and out of. At current traffic levels, it would add, on average, $90 to a ticket.
$90 to a ticket.
That's right. And for DC residents like myself, who will always pick DCA anytime we get a chance, it's going to be one more reason to try to avoid Dulles. But United Airlines does not see it that way. And their passenger levels, their traffic has been increasing year over year. They've had their best 2 years ever in a row at Dulles. So they think they can keep this record going. But they have to really keep and surpass it to really make this cost measure out.
That's interesting to me because when you're booking flights, if you live in the DC area, a lot of times DCA Reagan is more expensive. But when you factor in the fact that it's 40 minutes in an Uber or on a train, or it's $70 each way, and it kind of, so if you're going to add another cost on top of that, one of the only reasons I ever flew out of there is because it was cheaper.
Yeah, I'm flying through National.
There we go.
You mentioned United. They have their Polaris lounge, and this was something we heard from the president as well. This is a big part, United kind of embracing this new level of luxury travel. What's that going to look like in this airport?
It should be extremely fancy, and this is United's opportunity to do that. Think about the other big United airports. They can't do this, for example, in Chicago, where they're sharing that airport with American Airlines. Dulles not only has, they have the traffic share at Dulles, but Dulles has the space. They can build out at Dulles, and they mean to make a luxury experience. So, maybe we can have a cocktail at Dulles finally the way they planned it from 1962.
Gaze out at the data centers surrounding landscape.
That's right. It seems like this is a United plan. This benefits United more than almost anybody else.
It's really incredible. Usually an airport plan like this would take years, if not decades, just to go through the legal approvals. You're talking engineering, design, environmental, and they would phase it out, not just to go through this legal process, but also to mitigate risk. But United has seen, under CEO Scott Kirby, a real opportunity in President Donald Trump, because Trump does not go through those legal approvals when he does planning projects. And by enlisting the president in this mission, you've got pre-approval that could cover, who knows how much bureaucratic red tape.
Is he like a modern-day L'Enfant when you think about what Trump's trying to do here? Is there any cohesive plan for what he wants to do with D.C. as we think about what's happening with the mall and the reflecting pool and all of these memorials and monuments, the helipad? Is there a cohesive Trump vision for what he wants the greater Washington area to look like and be?
I have not heard any Washingtonian describe him as a modern-day L'Enfant. I'm going
trademark
to
it right here. Bring
float
it back.
that around and see what my neighbors say.
Get back to us. See how folks feel about that. I'm sure to give them David's email. Yeah.
It appears to involve a lot of gold. There's a lot more gold than we had before in Washington.